All right, welcome back to the Now Morning Show. I am Natalee Legore. In today's Spotlight, a man who the people of Tobago seems to love, but unfortunately, in the last THA elections, he lost by a mere 54 votes. What will happen on December 6th? Will he be able to take the position from Mr. Jacob? Well, let's welcome to the program all the way from our sister Tobago, the PDP representative for Canaan Bonaccord, Joel Nuttsy Sampson. Good morning to you, Joel.
Good morning, Natalie.
And thank you so much for joining us. So the last THA election last year, 54 votes. How did that make you feel? You know, just did you like taste the little power on your tongue and you'd be like, oh my God, so close yet so far away?
No, well, I didn't feel any way, Natalie. Actually, I became more determined after that. I was happy with what the outcome was because God had decided for that outcome. So it only made me a stronger person. It gave me the courage to push on and to continue the good work that I have started.
Well, it's obvious that, you know, I was saying to you yesterday in our conversation that, you know, a few more votes and the PDP would have had control of the THA. To lose an election by 54 votes, it's really, really close. You know, when that happened, you know, when you decided or the PDP chose you to run again, what do you think you'll do different in your campaign and strategy to ensure that you get the nod from the people, from the majority of the people?
Well, Natalie, I think it all comes down to election day, basically. You have to ensure that the election machinery is well-oiled and groomed, and I think that's where I need to improve on, and that's what I've been working hard to achieve.
Right. And between last year to this year, have you stayed in the community, stayed in touch with the people, you know, just staying on the ground and trying to help them in whatever way you can?
Yes, Natalie, I have. You know, I am what they would call the people's champion. So despite what had happened at the polls, I kept on the ground with the community. I have been doing different drives each and every week. So it goes from hamper drives to bread drives. I've also distributed devices to the schools for children who parents cannot afford at the moment. I've also distributed vouchers for school children going back to school and many other things within the community. So I've been on the ground from then till now.
How are you all able to afford these things, though? Because, you know, we're in the midst of a pandemic and a lot of people have really been struggling. So I'm really appreciative of the fact that you've still tried to help the people as much as you can. But how are you able to afford to help the people with these things?
All right, Natalie, first and foremost, I'm gainfully employed at the Water and Sewage Authority. Besides that, I'm an entrepreneur, so I have a plumbing business as well. So proceeds from my business, I use these towards the drives.
And you know what, that's really commendable, Joel, because, you know, you hardly ever see a politician or an aspiring politician, you know, dipping into their pockets to help the people. What makes you do these things? What is it that drives you to help the people on the ground?
All right, Natalie, well, I think this comes from my mom. From small growing up, I always see her assisting persons with the little she has. And sometimes on her Sundays, people would pass by and she would share out all the food. Sometimes I may just get a little bit. So it's in me from small, and I understand the situation at the moment. I have kids as well, and I know how it feels to not have. So when I see persons in need and I can assist, I assist where I can.
You know what, that sounds like my story. I think a lot of us who are giving people understand that story. Your mom sounds like my grandmother, you know. I guess you just help where you can regardless of your circumstances. But if you're to get the nod from the people, Joel, let's say December 6th comes and you're successful as a candidate for the People's Democratic Patriots. Did I get it correct? People's Democratic Patriots?
Progressive Democratic Patriots.
Progressive. I knew I always get one of the P wrong, you know. The Progressive Democratic Patriots. Thank you for the correction. If you get the nod from the people, what are some of the immediate issues you think the people of Canaan Bonaccord would want you to address? If you're on the ground, then you should know what are the issues that they want to get addressed.
Well, there are a lot of issues that need to be addressed that I come across daily on my walkabouts. So they range first and foremost the land acquisition issues, the persons that were affected with the land acquisition for the airport expansion, we'll have to treat that issue firstly. There are also complaints about the drainage problems. There have been a lot of floodings within the area. So these are things we need to address. Also, where the young persons are concerned, where there's a high rate of unemployment, these are things that have to be addressed firstly and foremost. Also, we could go to the health sector, the food sector, where the food security is concerned, the fisher folk, and so much more to mention. If we had to speak about this, Natalee, we could take up the whole one.
Which means that there are a lot of issues that are affecting a lot of people, and probably in different ways. Now, we are in the midst of a pandemic, but apart from that, we've seen the economic decline, not just of Trinidad and Tobago, but, you know, for economies right across the world. How do you think you're going to be able to address these issues? Because it sounds as if, regardless of whether it's to create employment, whether it's to deal with the fishing industry, whether it's, you know, to just treat with the health sector or food security, is that in any project that you're going to undertake, you're going to need some capital. So talk to us about how, you know, because to me, if you're going up for an election, you must have a plan. And that plan has to include, if you get the nod, how you're going to treat with the underlying issues or the issues that are affecting the community that you think you might want to address.
All right, Natalee. From on my platform from the last time, I spoke about community-based projects, where we will do things in the community together. So what I intend to do, once elected, I will keep meetings with the constituents, deal with the business sector within the community, so we can have that discussion about forming a community bank. So whereby the business sector would contribute and donate to these projects, because we don't know how the economy will swing within the next 2-3 years. We can't say, well, we will do this or we will plan to do that, and we are not sure of the economy. So once we create that community bank and the business sector is on board and the community, persons in the community on board, and we decide to chip in, I think we could get some of these projects done, because it's not that hard to do.
I don't know. It sounds like a it sounds like a massive project. You're talking about a bank. That's an institution. And, you know, I think it might take quite a bit to run an institution. So is it that at this point you all are just thinking about it, talking about it, actually have a plan in place to get it executed? Where are you at with this idea of a community bank?
Well, at the moment, Natalee, we are in the development stage of it. We are talking about it, having conversation, having ways, trying to figure out ways how we could move forward, how we could create it and implement it. So it's all in the talking process at the moment. It's something that we're hoping to achieve.
And you think the people so far, what has been the response from the people?
Well, the response has been good from the people so far. They are interested in it. It sounds like a good idea. It sounds like something we can do, because it will help the community as well, you know. So
yeah,
we are getting some headway with it. So we hope to achieve it once elected.
Right. So we have about, is it the 6th of December? So just about a month and a week before the election, maybe a month and a few days, more than a week before the election. In the next couple of weeks, what will your focus be? Will it be just talking to people, cottage meetings, town halls? How do you plan to play out this campaign season?
Well, at the moment, Natalee, I think the groundwork is important. So I have been on the ground each and every day, reaching out to persons, trying to reach out to the persons who haven't voted in the past 8, 12 years, 20 years, try to reach out to those who are undecided, try to reach out to the new voters, try to do what's necessary to get the victory this time, because losing by 54 votes, it was a narrow margin. And if I had a little bit more work, and it could have been achieved, and we would not have been at this point. So I'm doing what it takes to bridge that gap come this December 6th election.
And Joel, we've seen a lot of people step into the political arena and just get decimated by it. They get caught up in the power, they get caught up in the, you know, the revelry. I don't know if that's the correct word. They just get caught up, period. You know, I really want to ask you, what will you do to keep yourself grounded? Because I don't think it's so hard to get caught up when all of a sudden you have somebody driving you from point A to point B instead of using your own little B15 the way I do. Or you know, you're earning the kinds of monies that you weren't used to, and all of a sudden when I call, you know, you don't answer the phone, you have a secretary. How do you keep yourself grounded if you're to become that person who is chosen to represent the people of Cane and Bon Accord?
It's simple for me, Natalie. It's quite simple. I'm a praying person. I believe in God, and everything I do, I put him first. He's the driver of my vehicle. So once I stay grounded, once I keep close to him, I don't think I should have any problem. Anyone can call me at any time. I'll still be the same humble, down-to-earth individual that I have been for the past 38 years, and I don't think I can be easily changed. Nothing can change me, money can change me, power can change me. The only person can change me is God.
Well, amen to that, Joel Nuttsy Sampson. I really hope you'll be able to maintain that, because really, we've seen the politics take a hold of some people, and Lord have mercy. The same God upon which you and I call is the same God we're asking to extend mercies to them for their souls. So, Joel, any final words before we go?
Well, it was nice being here this morning to the residents of Bon Accord Crown Point. You have an opportunity once again to choose a man of integrity and honesty, a man who stands by his word, a man who would be there with you. So the ball is in your court. You have that opportunity come December 6th to exercise your democracy. I'll be here for you. I have been there for you since the last election. I have not changed who I am. So this is your opportunity to go out and vote. Give me that support, and let's develop and move forward together.
That sounds like a good pitch. Except don't tell them the ball is in their court. They might they might leave the ball right there. Go for the ball, man. Go on the court for the ball. All right, Joel, thank you so much for speaking with us this morning, and all the best to you in your bid to become the representative for Cane and Crown Point, you said.
It's now Bon Accord Crown Point.
Bon Accord Crown Point, right, not Cane and Bon Accord, right. True, they changed it. All right, Joel, thank you, and all the best to you.
Thanks, and have a wonderful day.
Same to you. Progressive Democratic Patriots representative for Bon Accord Crown Point, Joel Nuttsy Sampson there, you know, putting his bid to the people. I hope he stays